Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I am Cami Horn, a worship associate. I've attended this church my whole life, and I love the community we have here. This congregation is my spiritual home. As a young adult, I feel supported by my church in making decisions that shape my life. Its principles are guides for how I want to continue growing. I'm proud of the things my church stands for and happy to be a part of something that is making the world a better place. Unitarian Universalism is a welcoming faith. Whoever you are, we are glad you have joined us. We know you come here for different reasons: to find community, to seek your spiritual and personal truths, to question, to nurture your heart and soul, to explore new ideas, to find comfort, and perhaps to find the answers to some of your bigger questions. Thank you for making us part of your journey. For more information about our congregation, please go to orlandouu.org or email WelcomeTeam@orlandouu.org. Today in worship, we celebrate the Summer Solstice in the special service from our Mystic Grove group. After service today, we'll gather for fellowship to chat for about 20 minutes. One of the breakout rooms is the Welcome Center, a great place for new friends to find out more about us. All are welcome. It is wonderful being together. Now, let's worship.
Good morning. My name is Kat. I have the pleasure of serving you as the Mystic Grove Chair, First Unitarian Church of Orlando's Pagan Study Group and Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans chapter. June brings us to the summer solstice, the longest day and the shortest night. It also hails the return of the Florida wet season with a near daily afternoon shower. I love our sanctuary sculpture. It reminds me of a big, radiant sun. I've often sat in the pews and reflected on how the Unitarian Universalist flaming chalice is surrounded by some of the symbols from other world religions. Though we each have different personal paths, we all affirm and promote the 7 UU principles, which are grounded in the humanistic teachings of the world religions. In simple language, 1. Each person is important. 2. Be kind in all you do. 3. We're free to learn together. 4. We search for what is true. 5. All people need a voice. 6. Build a fair and peaceful world. 7. We care for planet Earth. We're people of all ages, backgrounds, and different beliefs, all worshiping together under one roof. That's pretty unique. Our spirituality is unbounded, drawing from scripture and science, nature and philosophy, personal experience and ancient tradition, as described in our 6 sources. Today we draw on our 6th UU source, the spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions, which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. We explore some of the different pagan paths that might lie inside the UU Pagan Umbrella as we come together to celebrate the summer solstice and the element of water.
Today's opening reading is We Gather as Many Drops by Reverend Leslie Takahashi. We gather as many drops, each winding our own path down life's surfaces and ruts. Here we pull together as a single body, flowing together for a time. Together we are a stream, at times even a river. For with our shared force, we can travel towards oceans of meaning and seas of connection. I invite you to join me in the familiar words of our chalice lighting. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share.
Some pagans cast a circle at the start of worship and align themselves with the compass directions, as well as the sky above and the earth below. It is a well-defined and well-thought-out, non-physical temple. While nature is already sacred to pagan and earth-centered people, the circle is used to create a safe, portable worship space where the person can enter into the worship mindset at any time, at any place, and leave their everyday cares outside the door. Within, they can reflect and commune with the divine by any name. The circle can be envisioned as a protective circle of light that passes through the compass directions and includes skies above and earth below to create a sphere. You can cast the circle with tools or without, either aloud or silently. Today we cast the circle using just a finger. Envision your finger drawing that circle of light to encompass not just your own worship space at home, but to include others worshiping together today. As willing and able, please rise and repeat after me 3 times. You can also draw the circle clockwise from a seated position. We cast the circle round about, one world within, one world without. We cast the circle round about, one world within, one world without. We cast the circle round about, one world within, one world without. The circle is cast, the light unbroken, so mote it be, our magic spoken. I invite you to take this moment to breathe deeply and sweep away negative or distracting thoughts from your mind as you come more fully into worship.
The earth, beloved garden, living treasure underfoot. All our days you ground our being safe, tempests, so grass and root. Herbs to heal us, plants to feed us, land to till and tend and plow. With the pendant deep as midnight north, we ask you be here now.
Father, air, your inspiration holds together all that lives. As we breathe, our minds see clearly, leading us to love and give. Raging whirlwind, whispered breezes, violent gale and gentle cloud. With the blade as sharp as morning east, we ask you be here now.
Brother fire, great transformer, share the passion of the sun. In our hearts your warmth revives us, cooks our food and heats our homes. Flaming candle blood within us, blazing desert will to grow. With the wand directing power south, we ask you be here now.
Sister water, ever flowing ocean, river, pond and rain, drink we now and quench our thirst, and cleanness will begin again. Mist and ice, the host of changes, all that courage will allow. With the cup, the holy chalice west, we ask you be here now.
Love our spirit, intuition in the center of our souls. In your love we find relation, all connected we are whole. Timeless mystery, quiet conscience, deepest values, noise inside. With the drum and with the cauldron, this we ask you be our God.
The Big Umbrella by Amy June Bates and Juniper Bates. A Paul Wiseman book, published by Simon & Schuster Books for young readers. By the front door, there is an umbrella. It is big. It is a big, friendly umbrella. It likes to help. It likes to spread its arms wide. It loves to give shelter. It loves to gather people in. It doesn't matter if you are tall or hairy or plaid. It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Some people worry there won't be enough room under the big umbrella. But the amazing thing is, there is. There is always room.
Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning. Ours is a sharing community where our joys are amplified, a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. We take this moment to reflect on our joys and sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. If you would like, you may come forward in the comment box and briefly share the name of a person you are holding space for in acknowledgement of a special joy or sorrow in the communion of names. Let us take a deep breath together. Let us open our hearts. In our joys and concerns this week, Sherry's son-in-law, John, died early last Tuesday at the end of his long battle with cancer. We hold Sherry and her family in loving thought as they grieve. Arlene is in the hospital for appendicitis. Our hearts are with Richard, Rhonda, and family upon the death of Richard's father in New York. We remember and honor the unspoken cares and concerns in our community. May we remember those who have spoken, those they have named, and those we hold in our hearts in this moment of silence. Blessed be.
That Which Holds All by Nancy Schaefer. Because she wanted everyone to feel included in her prayer, she said right at the beginning several names for the holy. Spirit, she said, Holy One, Mystery, God. But then, thinking these weren't enough ways of addressing that which cannot fully be addressed, she added particularities, saying, Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Ancient Holy One, mystery we will not ever fully know, gracious God, and also Spirit of this earth, God of Sarah, Gaia, Thou. And then, tongue loosened, she fell to naming superlatives as well. Most creative one, greatest source, closest hope. Even though superlatives for the sacred seemed to her probably redundant. But then she couldn't stop. One who made the stars, she said, although she knew technically a number of those present didn't believe the stars had been made by any one or thing, but just luckily happened. One who is an entire ocean of compassion, she said. And no one laughed. That which has been present since before the beginning, she said. And the room was silent. Then, although she hadn't imagined it this way, others began to offer names. Peace, said one. One my mother knew, said another. Ancestor, said a third. Wind, rain, breath, said one near the back. Refuge, that which holds all. A child said water. Someone said Kuan Yin, then womb, witness, great kindness, great eagle, eternal stillness. And then there wasn't any need to say the things she'd thought would be important to say. And everyone sat hushed until someone said, Amen.
In the center of some pagan rituals, there is an energy raising, which is then directed into a working. I invite you to join us in singing, dancing, or drumming to help raise energy, which we will then use to bless the offertory. After having raised up so much energy, I invite you to focus on the offering basket and fill it with your good thoughts and intentions as we prepare to bless the offertory. Keep any energy you need to recharge yourself and send any excess energy back down to the earth through your feet. As willing and able, you can also make your contributions online. If you'd like to make an offering to support the many ministries of this congregation, you could go to orlandouu.org and click the donate button in the upper right corner. You could also donate by sending a text or sending a check. This month's Share the Plate recipient is the LGBTQ History Museum of Central Florida. There are many ways to give to this community partner. The slides will appear again at the end of the service. We bless today's offering so we can share our light with the world and help light up others. We remind ourselves that we are the fire tenders, so the flames of justice, community, and love can burn brightly to warm us all. So mote it be. In 1961, two separate Christian denominations came together. The Universalist Church of America and the American Unitarian Association merged to become what we know today as Unitarian Universalism. At the time of the merger, both paths had expanded beyond their roots in liberal Christian theology. Something new was happening. While we retain some Christian traditions, like having our worship time on Sunday, Unitarian Universalism is now a liberal religion that encompasses many religions. It does not center on specific theological beliefs. We encourage you to grow, but Unitarian Universalists are free to search for truth along many paths. If the word Christianity is like an umbrella word with little bubbles inside, like Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran, Protestant, and more, what would the umbrella word paganism be like? What are the sorts of little bubbles that might be inside? What do different UU Pagans believe? Let's find out.
Hi, I'm Barbara. Where do I stand under the Pagan umbrella? Well, you could say I move around from spot to spot. I'm an eclectic pagan, an eclectic Wiccan. Now, formal Wicca and witchcraft, they come in different flavors. There's Gardnerian or Alexandrian, for instance, and different branches in there. Some are oath-bound. Most are formal. They have formal training, initiation rites. Some are hereditary. Some form covens. Some use complicated and exact spells and rituals. Some just focus on intentions, white light, or power for a desired outcome. That's not me. I do whatever works. And my main interest is in the healing arts, which are what most folks used to consider witchcraft. How did I get here? It's been a long and interesting journey. I grew up Catholic, attended Catholic schools right through high school, went to Mass every Sunday, fasted and feasted when I was told to, but it never felt right. Too many things I couldn't agree with, too much hypocrisy. For instance, the Inquisition, witch hunts, the attitude about birth control, abortion, divorce, unmarried, exclusively male clergy. Didn't fit. So when my kids started school, I went looking for a spiritual home for the family and found it at the UU Church of Weymouth in Massachusetts. I found a place where everyone was accepted for who they are and where spiritual growth was encouraged. And just about that time, CUPS was forming in Salem, Massachusetts, which I found very interesting. Our home church didn't have a CUPS chapter, But I looked into it and thought, that sounds more like me. Fast forward to my move to Florida and 1 year with a very active pagan group, which fostered the evolution of my own spirituality, from Catholic through non-denominational Christian to deist to eclectic pagan. This is how I do pagan. I believe in an all-encompassing spirit of creation, of love, and that this spirit dwells in everyone, each one of us, and all of creation. I see each of the gods and goddesses of the many pagan pantheons as aspects of this force. Each is there for me to call on or thank as the situation warrants. Kuan Yin is my nurturing mother goddess. To her, I offer my morning coffee every day. This is a kitchen witch tradition, offering the preparation and consumption of food to the deity. I thank Epona for my love of horses. I invite Mother Nature and the Green Man to care for my garden, which is sort of a hedge witch tradition. Also, I believe that thoughts are things. They have substance. There is power in focused intention. Is this how spells work? Maybe. I celebrate the 8 Sabbats of the year with my fellow Mystic Rovers, but also enjoy the traditional holidays of Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving, just not for the same reasons as my Christian friends. That's me. I am an eclectic pagan.
My paganism began with reading and studying Starhawk's book, The Spiral Dance, which led me from a life mostly in Catholicism over to 1U. In the beginning, I was an eclectic pagan, as there was so much to learn about the various paths of paganism. Just as we search for different churches, we search for our own path in paganism. In the early years of my pagan path, I became part of the Flame Keepers of the Order of Bridget, where we each take a turn keeping her flame burning all day. In this way, her flame is kept going forever. The Order of Bridget is a multi-denominational and non-denominational organization that welcomes all whom Bridget calls, regardless of gender, religion, or faith, ethnicity, ability, or disability. I still keep the flame going at home and believe in the energies of candle work commingled with the goddesses. I learned my goddess tradition through personal study of books from Starhawk, and I am a student at the Magical Circle School online currently learning about goddesses. Initially, while learning about Wicca, I honored both the god and goddess. As time went on, the goddess has prodded me in my daily life through my circumstances and events, and in my devotional time. As a bi-pagan, I honor the feminine and masculine energies. A crowning ceremony is when you reach the stage past childbearing, menopause, or you are over 50. The ceremony affirms your stage as being an elder and a woman of wisdom. Though I did not realize it at the time, my father's passing actually heralded my new stage in life as a crone. I had a visit from Kernos. That was another turning point experience back then. I looked to the goddesses for my strength. My croning was a special time. I invoked Inanna at my croning ceremony and took my new spiritual name. I had been through my own searching into the depths of my life and felt my experience akin to her own. Inanna had gone down into the underworld and experienced losses and still was able to rise up again. During my ceremony, I revisited the all goddesses stage of my life, beginning with my youth, then as a mother, and ending with my new stage in life as a crone. I was guided by the other women with me at my croning ritual. Honoring the previous stages in my life helped guide me into the next chapter of my life's journey. My sons respect me and acknowledge my cronehood and are grateful for my raising them with so much strength as a single mother. I believe in multiple goddesses, which includes the female saints, as they are all goddesses to me. I believe they represent the maiden, mother, and crone to me. Some goddesses actually represent both female and masculine energies. I honor them in my daily life with candle lighting, daily tarot card pulls, and working with energies of the elements. There can be other goddess-oriented traditions under the pagan umbrella.
Well, my original faith path was Protestant Christianity. I was fortunate in that my family and the people around me lived that life very well, and it set my moral compass, and it's still set to that today, and how I interact with people, how I interact with the planet. As for Greenwich, my wife Tony took that class first, and I became acquainted with the content when she was taking it. I said, I really like this. So as soon as I could, I took the class a year and a day and was initiated on October 13th, 2007. The Greenwich path is similar to other pagan paths in it is structured along Wicca lines. It's very similar with Wicca. You could say it's a part of Wicca in a way. And that it celebrates the Sabbats, recast the circle, things like that. It's different in, well, one thing is its recency. Even though it goes back a long, long ways, it's only very recently been identified and put out to the rest of us with a label on it. That's thanks to Anne Morrow. It is extremely broad. It is, can be very unstructured. As she says, the first unspoken law is that there is no law. That says that you are free to be as structured as you wish, or to reach out as broad as you wish in the Greenwich path. We have a creed, but instead of saying I will, or I believe, or some form of commitment, we use the word acknowledge. Let me give you a couple of examples. I acknowledge the immanence of the divine, whose spirit resides in all things and worlds, creating a unity of all in oneness and kinship through the goddess and the god, as I referred to later as singularity. The elementals. I acknowledge the elementals, earth, air, fire, and water, are extensions of the god and goddess, both external and indwelling as kith and kin. These things already reside in me. They already reside in you. They reside in everything around us. So I don't have to reach out there for my path. It's already here. I use this path to help me connect with that and to connect myself to everyone else and to the cosmos. And a foundation stone, if you will, of the Greenwich path is that there is a cosmic immortal singularity, an androgynous singularity. It is everywhere, it knows everything, it can do everything. And from this androgynous immortal entity, it aspects as male and female. It is of equal power and equal importance to both sides. To me, that was very important. We acknowledge the sacred exchange. And what is that? Life comes from life. Life comes from death. I can only exist because something had to die to feed me. I acknowledge my own mortality, and that I acknowledge my brotherhood with all of creation. I can do things. As a human being, I have incredible, extraordinary power. We are co-creators with the Lord and the Lady. I can take rocks and I can build things with them. The rock doesn't build me, I build with the rock. But the cosmic power is the same that made that rock and that made me. I evolved a little bit differently with a few more chemicals and things, but it is the same cosmic power, no matter what you're looking at. And to try to understand that and tap into that, wow, In the past, I would have described myself as a pagan-friendly Unitarian Universalist who is non-deist. I don't have a belief in deity, gods, or goddesses myself, though I enjoy learning about them in other world religions. I enjoy observing the changing of the seasons, and I find awe and wonder in science and nature. The ordinary miracles like a flower coming into bloom or a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. Some of us in our group joke that we are the Carl Sagan pagans. Stephen Emrys has written about Sagan. Few people showed greater reverence for nature than the late Carl Sagan, an agnostic who made a career of exploring and marveling at the wonders of the universe. In fact, he was so astounded by the beauty and complexity of the universe itself that he saw no need to go seeking gods or goddesses to explain it. His philosophy was that no concept of a creator or overseer could possibly match the awe-inspiring grandeur of nature itself. I recently discovered I might have a word. Rather than describing my beliefs as something like this or something like that, now I think I might say, I am an atheopagan UU. Religious humanism includes any religion that takes a human-centered ethical perspective as contrasted with a deity-centered ethical perspective. Humanists think that we have a human responsibility to solve problems. We don't ask a deity to solve it for us. Inside of religious humanism, there is naturalistic paganism. It is a pagan orientation for those who are uncomfortable with or skeptical of the supernatural or metaphysical elements of some branches of contemporary paganism. It is a paganism that is firmly rooted in the empirical world. Then we get to the word atheopagan. Atheopaganism is a particular path within non-theistic naturalistic paganism. It includes 4 sacred pillars and a set of 13 principles. The 4 things that are sacred to atheopagans are: 1. The interconnected web of life on planet Earth as the single most sacred thing of all. 2. That beauty is to be cultivated and celebrated. That is how the precious moments of our lives are best measured. 3. The tremendous and humbling power of truth to right wrongs, to advance liberty, to advance closeness between us. And 4. That love brings hope, that we each have its redemptive power inside and can use it to help alleviate another's suffering. The 13 principles for living are: 1. Maintaining a healthy skepticism and using critical thinking. 2. Reverence for our planet Earth and living lightly on it. 3. Expressing gratitude for the beauty and bounty of our life. 4. Being humble and recognizing our commonality with others. 5. Humor and the ability to laugh, even at ourselves. 6. Regular spiritual practices such as rituals to celebrate the turning of the seasons. 7. Being inclusive of others and celebrating the diversity among us. 8. Legacy. Embracing our responsibilities to those that come after us. 9. Responsible behavior and good citizenship. 10. Celebrating pleasure as inherently good, so as long as others are not harmed in its pursuit and the 4 pillars are respected. 11. Being curious. We understand that knowledge is never complete. There is always more to be learned. 12. Conducting ourselves with integrity in word and deed. And finally, 13. Practicing kindness and compassion with others and ourselves. I find these things resonate with me and blend well with our UU principles.
Some of our Mystic Grove members are Reconstructionist pagans. Margot Adler, a famous UU pagan, used the term pagan reconstructionist in the 1979 edition of Drawing Down the Moon to refer to neo-pagans who endeavor to revive or reconstruct an authentic pre-Christian religious practice through the use of historically verifiable research in the fields such as archaeology, folklore studies, and anthropology. Those on a Kemetic or Egyptian neo-pagan path attempt to reconstruct the beliefs and practices of ancient Egypt. Hellenism refers to the religious practices of those who honor the gods of ancient Greece. Roman polytheistic reconstructionism, or Roman paganism, is a contemporary reconstructionist movement dedicated to the gods of Rome. Heathenism, or Germanic pagan reconstructionism, is polytheistic. It also includes an animistic view of the cosmos in which the natural world is imbued with spirits. We see familiar heathen gods in the English names for the days of the week. The main thing to remember is that not every Wiccan you meet is going to be the same kind of Wiccan. And while Wiccans are a kind of pagan, not all pagans are Wiccan ones. There's simply too many pagan paths to list in one short sermon. Cups chapters in UU congregations tend to be mixed pagan groups. Here at Mystic Grove, ritual is led by a volunteer leader each time, and they might choose to do it in the style of their own pagan path. We welcome the richness and diversity this brings to our circle. The one thing that binds us together is our desire to practice a sincere form of religion that embraces all of the different positive meanings of the word UU Pagan. Even if you're not necessarily pagan or earth-centered, we like to think that you're welcome here under the One U umbrella as you worship with us and nurture your spirit with us. There is always room for you here. Happy Summer Solstice, and blessed be.
Today, we're honored to debut Lover Spirit Intuition, a piece written especially for today's Summer Solstice celebration by Amanda Udis Kessler. She performs for us today on piano and is joined by guest singer Phoebe Lostro.
Lover spirit intuition in the center of our souls. Thank you for your sacred presence, all are one and all are whole. Lover spirit now departing, bless us ever as we dwell with the drum and with the cauldron. To the source we bid farewell. Sister water ever flowing, ocean, river, pond and rain, thank you for your sacred presence, stream to bathe the growing grain. Sister water now departing, bless us ever as we dwell with the cup, the holy chalice. To the west we bid farewell. Brother fire, great transformer, share the passion of the sun. Thank you for your sacred presence, heat unleashed and life begun. Brother fire now departing, bless us ever as we dwell with the wand directing power. To the south we bid farewell. Father air, your inspiration holds together all that lives. Thank you for your sacred presence, howling gust and silent wind. Father air, you now depart us, bless us ever as we dwell with the blade as sharp as morning. To the east we bid farewell. Mother Earth, beloved garden, living treasure underfoot. Thank you for your sacred presence, rock and crystal, nut and fruit. Mother Earth, you now depart us, bless us ever as we dwell with the pendant deep as midnight. To the north we bid farewell.
Having created and pulled the sacred circle up over us to make a protective environment for your worship at the beginning, the time has come to take it down again at the end. Take a deep breath. Become aware once more of the sphere of light enveloping us here in liminal sacred space. Please rise as willing and able as we take down the circle. This time you can use your finger as we move counterclockwise. Envision your finger breaking the seal and drawing back the sphere of light to open it up again. Repeat after me 3 times. We open this circle, a sacred space, emerging restored, recharged, and embraced. We open this circle, a sacred space, emerging restored, recharged, and embraced. We open this circle, a sacred space, emerging restored, recharged, and embraced. May the circle be open, and may the energy that lingers within sink down to nourish the earth, so that all may benefit from this celebration of the summer solstice. So mote it be.
Our closing reading is May You Never Thirst by Erica Barry. May you never thirst. May your body and your spirit always have what they need. When you are in need of refreshment, a new life, may the waters be available to you. May you never know thirst unto death, in your body or in your soul. May you never thirst, and may your body and your spirit always thirst enough to stay alive. May you know the dissatisfaction with things as they are that leads to the work of justice. May you know the thirst for new knowledge that leads to the quest for truth. May you know the desire for deeper connection that creates new and stronger relationships. May you know the spiritual thirst that keeps the soul searching and gives the sweetness of new discovery to faithful followers of spiritual paths of all kinds. May you never thirst too deeply, but may your thirst never be entirely quenched. Please join us in our familiar words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.